This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, Kate Floss, and as I told you before, that I've got a new ministry opening up for you, and this is going to be the Ministry of Parliament. Kate Floss in the Ministry of Parliament, and I'm going to show you today how that we, taking the power of our godly powers back, we can go straight to the Parliament by ourselves, and we can actually make our voice heard in the Parliament with the parliamentarians at any time that we want. They've been telling you that you have to follow a leader, that you have to get someone to do it. They just keep putting you in this victim status, that you have to follow this leader, you have to follow a party, you have to follow a religion, you have to follow a doctor, you have to follow a lawyer, you have to follow all these people, and they just are continuously telling you in your godly self that you can't do it by yourself, that you're not allowed to. But I'm here to tell you, Kate Floss in the Ministry of Kate Floss Parliament, and I'm the Minister Kate Floss in the Ministry of Kate Floss Parliament. I'm here to tell you that you can do it on your own. Now, what you can do is you can set up families, parliamentary families. You can set up your parliamentary groups that you want to have. Now, a lot of people, they get this idea. They suddenly say to themselves, oh, I can do this, so now I want to go and be in Parliament. The minute that you step out, the minute that a person steps out of your group and starts running for office, they're no longer on the people's side. They go then over onto the parliamentary side. I'm only interested in giving power to the people that are on the people's side. The minute that they jump ship, that's what they're doing. They're jumping ship. When they've jumped ship, like Carl Bromley, Sue Gray, any of these people, the minute that they say that they're running for Parliament, they're on, oh, there goes my door. They're on a different ship to what you're on. So I'm only on the people's ship of the 1688 and our godly rights, and under Almighty God. And I want to show you what your power is as an individual. And I want to show you that you don't need those people to get involved. Now, I'll tell you another thing too. You get these people, they're drug addicts or they've been molested or whatever, and they go and get 6 months of counselling, and suddenly they want to work for a government department. They want millions of dollars in government funds so they can set up their own business to go and help the drug addict children and go and help the molested children. And they're saying, well, because that's happened to me, that I'm the best one to go and do it, to do that. Well, no, that's not true. Hurt people are not able to help other hurt people if they've only had 6 months of healing or 1 year of healing. They are found to have done a lot more damage than to those poor kids that need a lot of help. And we need to stop this mindset. It's ridiculous. Now look at me, Kate Floss. Look at me. Obviously, I'm not parliamentary material. Just take a good hard look at me. I am great. I am wonderful in my Kate Floss power of stardom in YouTube. But how do you think the world leaders over in Saudi Arabia, or as a Minister of Foreign Affairs with a hat on my face and tattoos on my face, how do you think they're going to take me? It's ridiculous. And so obviously you've got to know the limitations of yourself. I'm not going to be a great person to be doing that, but I'm a great person that can work with the people and just make my YouTubers and get my stardom like that. And I might even write a book for you. But so you've got to know your limitations. It's not good, if you're a 60-year-old, right? And you want to go and get a job in the youth exercise program for going to the Olympic Games. Clearly, you're not suitable for the job. And this goes the same. If you're a drug addict and you're dealing with your drug problems and all of this kind of things, clearly you're not suitable to be helping people, trying to heal yourself by helping other people. That's what this mindset is. Trying to help yourself trying to use other people their problems to help you to heal yourself and get paid while you're doing it. It's just shocking. And this is the same with Parliament, where you go and you say, right, I'm fighting for the people, protesting for the people, I'm going to the court for the people. If you've turned around and said, right, now I'm going to go into the Parliament, you've jumped ship. And you're not on the people's side anymore. All right. So I'm going to show you how you can start your own groups. You can want to encourage all of you to make a video. So the people on the chopping block is, oh, I keep forgetting this guy's name. Oh my goodness, I'll have to try and find it, won't I? Goldsmith. Yes. Paul Goldsmith. Right. So the people on the chopping block today are Paul Goldsmith. Right. So what I've done is I've gone to the Parliamentary Select Committee, and I've put in a submission. So you know that we're already in the courts with the 1688 Bill of Rights, and we're saying that it is the right of the subjects to petition the king, and all commitments for doing so are illegal. And I'm saying to them that they shouldn't be allowed to charge me the $14,000 exorbitant fees that they want me to pay just to get in to take my rightful godly rights into the court. They want me to pay $14,000. So we've said the king says it's the right to petition the king, and all commitments are illegal. We're still waiting for that ruling, but if we win that ruling, it's going to open up the heavenly courts for all of you, and you'll be able to enter the heavenly courts when you need to, as you always should have been. They never should have been allowed to block you. They've got you running off to these tribunals and these meetings and all of these things. And I'm saying to you, you know, you have a lot more power than that. All these meetings are led by them. And I'm saying to you to take the power back and lead yourself. That's what you'd want to do. Go take it, make her look a bit better. Take your power back and lead yourself. And so now, while we're waiting for that ruling, I'm going to show you how to go and work the parliamentary select committees and how to have your voice heard using the 1688 Bill of Rights under Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II and our future King Charles, and also Tamati Wakanene, who is very revered. But I'm just going to tell you, there's going to be loads of your leaders that are going to say, okay, let's go and do this, all right? And as soon as they start doing that, you're going to gain a lot of power. You are going to gain power in your own right. But as soon as your leaders turn around and say, I'm running for Parliament and I'm taking my group and I'm running for Parliament, they then have jumped ship to the other side, and all good speed, Godspeed to them. All right, but they're no longer on your side. They're now in the people's opposition, right? Because remember, the corporation belongs to you and me. The country belongs to you and me. And they are only managing the corporation. And we as directors of the corporation need to direct them and keep them in their lane and make sure that they're upholding the cabinet manual. But as soon as the person has jumped into their role, then you become the boss of them. And they are no longer the leader of you, all right? So you have to, figure out where everybody is. So if you've got a leader that's leading the people and keeping the parliamentarians accountable and in check, that's a leader that you can follow if you don't feel that you're strong enough to get your leadership abilities just now. But if they've jumped ship and they've said, I'm running for Parliament, now they're over on the other side and they're not leading you anymore. Now they're fighting to get into Parliament and saying the things that they need to say to get into the Parliament, and they're not your leader. It flips. Once they go over to that side, they're no longer your leader. They are then your underling and you're above them. And they're trying to make you think that they are above you, but this is not true. You then ascend to a higher level. All right, so you've got a leader that's leading you to make the Parliament accountable, all right? And in that case, I wouldn't call yourself the underling, but you are the person that's following for divine inspiration, okay? But when that leader jumps ship and jumps into that corporation, and you are the owner of that corporation and being the director of the corporation, you then ascend to your heavenly realm above that person. And so you are not looking to them for inspiration anymore. You are then holding that person accountable. You can still tick them in the ballot box, but you're holding that person accountable. And then you have to ascend to your godliness and up to your heavenly realm. So here we've got here Paul Goldsmith, who we're going to meet at the, and I went to meet him. I'm going to show you how to do it. I went to meet him at the heavenly realm. And then the second one that I went to meet was Jenny Anderson. There were 3 when I got there. Jenny Anderson, and we've got Venushi Walters. And Venushi Walters is a hat person, just like Kate Floss. But it should be interesting to see that in her parliamentary address, she's wearing her rabbit ears. Venushi with her rabbit ears. So that means what she's saying there is, I'm going to be taking you down the rabbit hole. So Venushi's a hat person. So we're going to put them up on the board. Okay, we'll put them up on the board today. So these are the people that we're talking about at the select committee. And we've gone to this, Kate Floss has gone to the select committee, and we're holding these people accountable. So we've got Queen Elizabeth, all right? I'll have to turn that around a bit. All right then. One day I'm going to make myself beautiful. Yeah, I know I'm beautiful, but one day I'm going to really spruce myself up and make myself into a supermodel. And you're going to think, wow, that Kate Floss is one hot little potato. That's what you're going to be saying about me. Wait and see, wait and see. Now, look, here we go. We've got Jenny Anderson. So don't forget that we've got Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth. Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth is who our godly laws, is the shelf that our godly laws sit on. And we call, she's got, see, because we've got here, she's got a whole Queen's army. A whole Queen's army that belongs to you. Do you know that? That's how powerful you are. Not the New Zealand army, not the Australian army. No, Her Majesty has got a whole Queen's army there for you, that when you go to the courts to hold your parliamentarians accountable, and if they start getting up to their mischief, you can call Her Majesty the Queen in a court of law. You can do it. One person, the power of one, and you can call in your Queen's army that belongs to you. Of course, we've got Tamati Wakanene from New Zealand. Now, each of our countries has got a Tamati Wakanene from Scotland, Ireland, England, and Australia. In New Zealand, it was Tamati Wakanene who worked together with Queen Victoria to bring the Queen's law and the Queen's army to give to us and all the people in New Zealand, so we could hold the parliamentarian and the tribal leaders to account. So that's Tamati Wakanene, and also we have to put up another man called Patu Oni, all right? And so these are, and then we've got, of course, the highest of them all that gives us our godly power is Jesus. And Jesus, when they took him and prosecuted him in the court of the unhewn stone, they prosecuted him in the middle of the night and they put him on the cross and killed him. They killed God's creature. And so from that point on, they said, no, all the people can go to the court of the hewn stone and call the parliamentarians to account. All right, so that all occurred during Jesus's time. So that's why we've got the 1688 will. It's a will from Jesus. It's called the will, and we follow the will. All right, so we'll put Jenny Anderson up here. Where we're going to put her? We'll put her, Jenny Anderson, here. All right, can you see Jenny? All right, there's Jenny Anderson. And then we'll put Paul Goldsmith. Paul Goldsmith, he's a happy chappy. So Paul Goldsmith, you're up today. And then we've got Venushi Walters with the rabbit ears on. Got the rabbit ears on. There you go, Venushi. So we've got Paul Goldsmith, Venushi Walters, and we've got Jenny Anderson. And we went to the court, we went to the select committee, and what they tried to do, what this is all about, is they want to give us the label and put into our legislation that the New Zealand people are now going to be called Maori and non-Maori. And so I said to them, I'm not a non-anything. Don't you put your non-labels on me. Don't call me a non. I am someone. I am godly. And I have power. I am a subject. I'm proudly a subject under Almighty God's protections. And if you want to call me a non and take away my subject status, that's a forfeiture of person without conviction. And I'll be calling in the Queen's armies. So there you go. So that's what the main point today, right, is that I want to, so I have to come up here when I do this. I have to put, sorry, Jacinda, I can't show you, but never mind. I'll put you in there. So I'm going to show you, it's very easy. I've got a set of 10 steps that you can follow today. Okay, so I'll put it up here. I'm going to go to share screen. All right. Hang on, let me get my paper up here. Here it is. Right. Now, when you go to the select committee, just remember that it's the first time that I've ever been. So it can be quite stressful, and it is nerve-wracking. But what you've got to do is get your little group together, whoever your group is. And what we might do is we might have a competition. Wouldn't that be good if we had a, now where is it? If we had a little competition, we could have a little competition for those who have been to the select committee, right? And, I wonder if I can share a whole screen. All right, I'm going to try and share a whole screen. I think that will be better. So I'll put that over there. Right. So I'll go to share in whole screen. Right, that's going to be better. Oh, that's not working. Yes, it is working. All right, so here's our whole screen. And I'll put this up here. We'll just have a try of this and we'll see if it works on the YouTube. And if it doesn't, I can always come up and do another one, but we'll have a try of this one. All right, so all right. So we'll have a try of this, okay? So I'm going to show you the simple steps that you can go to the Parliament and you can take back your power on your own. And you can set up families. I think we'll have a competition. So I'm going to show you my one and these easy steps. And if you want to have a class with Kate Floss, you can ask me and you can send me donations for a class and you can actually come to me and we'll have a class on how you can do this. But you can watch my video and do it on your own. Or if you want a special class with Miss Kate, where you can go and set it all up. They call me, the kids used to call me Miss Kate Floss. We can set it all up and you can come and see Kate Floss and I'll check it all for you before you go in and do your actual video if you want to. So let's have a look here. So you see here, you just go to your government page here. And you can see here on, I've got, go to the government page, bills in New Zealand Parliament. So let's have a go. Bills in New Zealand Parliament, all right? Then you're gonna click on that. Then you see here, these are all the bills that you can go to. And be careful because we're using our 1688 Bill of Rights. Now, you can go in there raving on about your mamby-pamby stuff, but we're particularly wanting to use our godly rights. And in using that, that's what forces them to stand down. It's the only law. See, all these laws that they've got here are bills to you, and they are all subordinate laws. When you throw in your 1688 Bill of Rights, it trumps all their subordinate laws. And if they go and make a law and try to override that 1688 Bill of Rights, they know that you can go directly to the heavenly realm of the court, and you can get them stood down on it. So usually you will win right here in the select committee. So this is what, so my one was called the Electoral Right to Switch Roles Freely Amendment Bill. So I'll go down to that one. There's many in here. I have to find it first. Oh, I've lost it. There you go. The electoral right to switch roles freely. Oh. So there. Hang on, I'll just change my music. This one's better. All right, so we're going to have a look here. And you'll see here, and this is my complaint about this bill. It says, this bill would amend the Electoral Act 1993 to enable Maori voters to switch between the Maori and non-Maori electoral rolls at any time. Now you can go and read the bill there, but I was not interested in the bill. What you're going to do with this, you get only 5 minutes to speak. So you have to get impact, you have to choose one small thing, only a small thing, and then try to focus on that. But I was not interested in the bill itself, but you have to look out for them. This here where it says Maori and non-Maori, I don't want to be called a non-Maori. Once they put this into legislation, you're no longer a New Zealander, you're no longer anything, you're a non, you're nothing. And so I went to the parliamentary, and this was done by Rawiri Waititi, who you know is an extremely racist man, and he's decided that we're called non-entities. And we looked up non-entities. Here, you can go and have a look at the non-entities. Let's see what does non-entity mean. And the non-entity meaning comes up here is a person, a thing with no special or interesting qualities, an unimportant person or an unimportant things, a political non-entity, non-existence, asserting the non-entity of evil. So this is how they're calling us non. So the minute they give you that word non, this is the definition that they're wanting to give us. So that's very serious to have that. And they want to insert this word all through the 1993 electoral law. This is very serious. Right, going back here, the next thing it says here is to click get involved. So here we go. I don't like the sound here. So we're going to click on get involved here. And then you see here, number 5, click make a submission. So we go here, make a submission, right? And then we're going to go here to submissions, advice, submissions and advice. So we can go here to submissions and advice. And then we're going to go to page 2, Catherine Sextus. So I'm on page 2. And then you can see all the submissions. These people are all gods in their own right. They're all leading themselves. But I think it would be fun if you did it as a family group, or whatever your group is, you can do it in your group, and you can have a name for your group. Mine's called the Cape Floss Parliamentary Committee. So you can go into the Cape Floss Parliamentary Committee. So I'm doing mine. This whole thing takes about 5 minutes to actually make the submission, but it does, see, there's my name there, Catherine Sixtus, but it does take a bit of planning if you want to have an impact and you want to have power. Now, when you go here, it says here, it's got here full evidence, and so I can click my full evidence. And then you'll get a little sheet like this. Now, this can be 5 pages long, or it can be 1 page long. I've done a short one because this is the first time that I've ever tried to do it. So I'm trying to find my way around here. And so there's no need to do anything big for me. But then it says here, I'm not opposed to New Zealand Maori specific needs in regard to elections and voting. However, I have to put that down there. However, certain New Zealand Maori seem to be taking liberties to force demands which have a great effect on the Anglo population and their right to their nation status. The Anglo voice has been ignored far too long, and their significant contributions for 200 years belittled, demeaned, and is consistently suppressed of late. This is supposedly a New Zealand Maori electoral option bill, and yet they have taken the liberty to change the wording of general electorate to non-Maori electorate. I resent being called a non-anything. I am someone. I am. My great-great-great-grandparents came on the St. Pauli in 1843, and Her Majesty Queen Victoria, together with Chief Tamati Wakanene himself, were instrumental in removing the alien status from certain Germanic people on the St. Pauli listed in the Royal Decree. So this is very important here. That's listed on the Royal Decree. Chief Nene has received a Royal Decree attaining subject status in 1843. For a moment in time, our two families were New Zealanders together. Now, you've got to bring in this 1688 Bill of Rights because this is your godly law. So you need to put in there, attain your godly status. The minute that you put that in there, if they don't change what you've said, what you've wanted them to do, and under a forfeiture of person without conviction, you then have got the right to go to battle in the highest court of New Zealand against the Parliament. So this is how it's all got to be done. You go in here, you make your submission, you use your 1688 godly law. If they don't do what you said, what you order them to do, you say, I order you, I command you with my Queen's army that you are not to do this because you have violated my right. If they turn you down and they don't fix it, you then get your 1908 Declaratory Judgment Act and you go and submit to the highest court. You don't argue with them in Parliament anymore. You're done there. I'm done with you. I've got my godly power and you will not take it from me. And I'm going straight to the Supreme Court. And that's where the Queen's armies are called in. That's where the Governor-General's called in. Now the Governor-General can turn you down and you go right to the Queen, go directly to the Queen, and then you call in the Queen's armies and they have to answer you. And if they don't answer you, their whole empire comes tumbling down around their ears. So trust me, they will answer you in your godly power. So it says here, I'll have to put this back onto them. I like the music. So it says here, the 1688 Bill of Rights states that a forfeiture of person before conviction are illegal. Well, when they're calling you a non-entity, they've removed your subject status and you've become a nobody. And that's a forfeiture of your particular person. And they not have any right to do that to you. I do most loudly protest a forfeiture of my status as an individual in the population of New Zealand and rightful subject of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth being relegated to a race non-Maori. I do claim this word change will have a detrimental effect to myself and future heirs and successors' ability to attain vindication and assertion of my and their ancient rights and liberties. And then I've given them the legislation, which you can go and see, our German Settlers Act, and then there's my name there. That's my ancestors, all the Christ Sixtus Andreas, Christ Sixtus Cow, they're all Christ. He's not a Christ. I'm from the, there's one, I'm from Gottfried. He was 12 years old, all right? And then I've also posted up for them just to remind them. Yes, here's my 1688 Bill of Rights. And then I've said to them that that is a forfeiture of particular person without conviction, and that is illegal and void. You're not allowed to call me a non-entity because I'm a subject and I don't want to be a non-entity. And so there you see, there is the parliaments, and it says that no declarations or proceedings will do anything to the prejudice of the people. And then if they don't go and change that word, I'm going to go to the court and ask the court, because it says there the only means. Oh, who fell down? Oh, Jenny fell down. It says there that the only means for obtaining full redress and remedy is to go and get a declaration. So then we go to the subject liberties to be allowed, and we go to the court and we ask the court for our declaration, and he will order for the ministers to firmly and strictly hold and observe the said declaration, and all officers and ministers shall serve their majesties and kneel to the master. So they will kneel, all right? So, going back here. So then I've also said that here is my recommendation. I do declare that I, Catherine and Sixtus, abjure and detest any attempt to name my person non-Maori or non-anything. I do demand and insist that Rawiri Waititi and or any other person of Maori race or any race make provisions in bills that concern themselves and have no right to change the word general population, which has significant meaning to the descendants of the ancient Anglo people of New Zealand. I do declare that no foreign prince nor person ought to have any jurisdiction or authority to act in superiority over my person as a pretended title of the crown. Now, unfortunately, this was the first submission that I had ever made, and unfortunately, I didn't even read that before I went on, and I had written something else. And so unfortunately, I had not read exactly what I had written, and I wished I did. But I think you can go back and make another submission, all right? So now we're going to go to, all right, let's go and have a look here again. So we've been to page 2, Catherine Sixtus. Now we go to, we did the click full evidence. Now we're going to go scroll to watch live streams. So you see here, go down here. Here's the live streams, all right? And then we're going to scroll down to the Justice Committee. So scroll down to the Justice Committee and click that, all right? And then what we're going to do is scroll to the second video. And here's me. It's had 19 views. We'd like to get a lot more views because none of us wants to be called non-Maoris. So please get a lot more views. And then it says here, watch Kate Floss at 38.30. So you can go here. I'll show you a little bit. So here's me. And, right, and here you'll see there's Benushi Walters, Jenny Anderson, and Honourable Paul Goldsmith, all right, all waiting for Kate Floss. Right. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, Catherine, yes.
Okay, can you see me?
Not yet.
Okay. Start my video. Okay, here it's come up.
That's it, gotcha.
Right. Can you see me now? Okay.
Yes,
all
lovely.
right, so I'm Catherine Sixtus. My email comes up under another name, but I like to be called Catherine Sixtus. Today I'd like to present to you our ancient Anglo laws, and that we haven't been using for such a long time, and that is the 1688 Will and Mary that is in our cabinet manual. And so I'd like to bring this to the attention of Parliament and bring this to the attention of the board. And under our ancient, so I'm not going to show all of it, but I'm just, that's what you can do. And then you can go, and then if you see here, so then if you, so I'll take you through it one more time, okay, according to our list, so you know what to do. All right, so I'll try and do this over here. All right, I'm going to take you through it. So I'll just if you wanted to make a submit, so I'll go back to the beginning. So you go to New Zealand Parliament, you go to let's see, you go to bills in New Zealand Parliament, right? And click on that. And then you see the proposed bills. Now, if you want to make it a proposed bill over here, you see, you can just click it. And then it says there's 23 days left to make this submission. All right. And then you can just go to, make a submission right here. That's all you do. Click on make a submission and then follow the steps. You go to, I'm ready to make us read the rules. And then I'm ready to make a submission and follow all the rules. And you put in a submission in writing, and then they will contact you and tell you what to do from there, okay? But my submission is, this is after you've finished your submission, all right? So my submission came under the switching electoral rolls, and the submissions for this, I think, are finished because it doesn't say make a submission. So this one is already closed. So it's too late to make any more submissions on this, all right? So that's a bit of a pity because I didn't speak well, but it was the first time I had done it, okay? And then you, then you click up there to get involved and you go to make a submission right there. And when you go to make a submission, and then you go to the submissions and advice. So over there you see submissions and advice, and you click that. Then you go down to page 2. There's page 2. And when you get to page 2, you can see my name there, which is Catherine Sextus. Next time I might try Kate Floss. So there's my name, Catherine Sextus, and you can look at you can go to the full evidence and you can look at my submission and study how I've done it and try to get some ideas. And then you can go over to your view all and you go to the watch the live streams. And then you go down there and find Justice Committee, click Justice Committee, and then you click on here and you go to number 2, all right? And then you can slide the slider along to 38, and then you'll see Kate Floss, and you'll be able to watch my submissions at the court. My email comes up. Okay, so that's all what we're going to be doing. I'll turn that off. And so I'll just show you this one here that you see is the, and then the man, the big honcho is going to be Prince Charles, currently Prince Charles, but at some time, late in the future, he's going to be King Charles, and he's the leader of the Queen's Army, and he's the one that we call to when our government's gone rogue. So we need them in order to call in our 1688 Bill of Rights. We need a royal family. So presently, all right. Okay, so I got lost in there. All right, and then, oh dear. All right, well, I'm going to close the video. I got a bit lost in there. But anyway, that's what we're doing. So we want you to go to the select committee and go and try and have a look at my video in the select committee. And then you can all send me your videos. You can get a group together and go and choose something there. But remember this, if you go in there with subordinate laws to fight subordinate laws, or you go in there with your stories about your hard childhood or why you don't want it because it's going to hurt your little feelings, it's going to hurt your little egos. If you go in there with that, they're probably, you're not going to get anywhere. But when you go in there with the law, with your shield of the 1688 will and Mary, your godly power, it orders them to stand down. They don't want these to get to the court, because when they get to the court's going to be saying to the parliament, why aren't you following the cabinet manual? And why have you caused these people to come to the court and waste my time? That's what the judge is going to say, because the judge is going to say to them, look, this godly subject came to you and said to you that this is a violation of their right, and you knew that, and you went ahead and made that subordinate law anyway. And so that has caused this person to come into the court to hold you to account. And the judge is going to say, you've cost us a lot of money because you should know your job. So this is what it's all about. This is the difference in the common law. This is the difference in the common law compared to other countries. And it's only in England, Scotland, Ireland, Northern Ireland, New Zealand, and I'm not even sure Australia, but I think Australia, but it's only in our countries that you're able to do that under the common law, because the other countries said you have to go through our leaders, and our leaders will decide, and our leaders and our courts will decide without you. But under our common law, they said, you are the subject, you are the owner of your country, you are the owner of your corporation, and the power is with you as the director. You're the director. And you can look at what's going on in Parliament at the moment. The reason is because you see that there's a show that they used to have on the TV, and this guy was going, and all the workers were trying to figure out how to do their jobs, but they all said they had no leadership. Nobody was guiding them. Nobody was ordering them what to do. And they were running around like ants in a nest with no queen. And that's what's going on. You're all running around like ants in a nest with no queen. That's what's wrong with you. The bees have a queen. The ants have a queen. They all have queens. And the queen's direct, and everything runs smoothly under the queen. But you are the representative as the subjects. Now, if you're not going there and holding them to account, they start dipping their fingers into the till, taking the liquor out the back door and sharing it with their mates, bringing all their mates in for free meals, giving all their mates free dippies, free whatever it is from the place that they're at. That's what they're all doing at the moment. All the people in Parliament that are not New Zealand born are bringing in their mates left, right and centre to work against you. That's what they're doing, because you're not monitoring what's going on in there as the directors. Now you all need to take your power back, take your director power, get your director's seat, get your FBI board up here. And always have up, your power is here, because you've got the Queen's Army, right? Then you've got Jesus, and then you've got your national ancient leader that brought all this in, whichever country, Scotland, Ireland, England, Australia, whichever one you are, which brought in. Ours was Tamati Wakanana. So you've got your power, here's your power base, right? Got your 1688, right? And then these three people want to put up a bill, and another one as well, and you're opposed to that. You're going to go to them with the power of the Queen's armies behind you, right? You're going to let them know, you can say to them, this is my power, and you better not step on it, mate. And if they do step on that, at that point in time, they need to stand down. Now, if they don't stand down, that means that you get to the court, and then the battle is no longer with them and you. You don't argue with them anymore. There is no more argument to be had. You go to the court will look at what they've got to say, the court will look at what you've got to say, and the court will decide who is correct here under Almighty God's law, right under Almighty God. So that's how powerful you are. And you just don't know it. So I'm all about all of you taking back your power. That's the end of the video today, but I'll make a new video. So that's Kate Frost signing out from the Ministry of Select Committees. And Kate Frost is the Minister of the Ministry of Select Committees. So you'll have to try and keep up with all my ministries. All right, so we've got the Kate Frost Ministry of Protestant Court. Then you've got the Kate Frost Ministry of Select Committees. We've got 2 cases in there. I'm not going to do any more because it gets a bit much. Go slowly and learn. So I'm just learning now. But once I'm learned, boy, I'm going to be a powerhouse. So I've got that one in the court, seeking a declaration from the courts, ordering them to stand down. And then I've got one in the Select Committee where this has not passed into law. And I wanted to try out my 1688 and my Queen's Armies to see how it would go there. So I've got those 2. Don't forget that we've got the Ministry of Culture and Entertainment, Kate Frost Entertainment. I've got that one there. And then I've also got the Ministry of Deconfusion, of which I'm the minister. These are all my portfolios. I've got a portfolio in the Ministry of Deconfusion, and I just gave myself, this is what they do. This is all they do in Parliament. They give themselves portfolios. I've just given myself a portfolio to take charge of the select committees that I wish to go to and hold these people accountable. You see, so that I've got 4 portfolios going at the moment. I don't know if I can manage 5, but I think I can manage 4. All right, but if you get a group going, if we get a group going, and I'll bring them in, and they can, and I'll be the minister, and they can be the underling ministers, and we'll be able to do multiple ones of these. But I can't do multiple on my own. But we're just doing this one. So come on in. Have a smile for the camera. Right, one of these days, I'm going to make myself look really beautiful. And I'm going to get all my makeup done, get my hair done. I'm going to look nice, and I'll have a I'll make myself look nice. And I'll show you that what I want to show you really is that all of those people in there, they're no different from you. They all started out looking pretty rough like me, and I might be able to show you how they transform themselves to look like there's something above you when they never are. You are always in your godly power. You are always in charge of what's going on in there. Always. The power is with you. So I just want to get you all to recognize your power and get out of this victim role that they've been telling you that the power is with them. The power's with the police, the power's with the courts, the power's with the parliament, the power's with the minister, the power's with the lawyers, the power's with everyone, but the power is never with you, apparently. And I'm here to tell you that all the power of all of those people, the power of the lawyers, the power of the parliamentarians, the power of the police, all of that power is rested in you, in your godly power with the Queen's armies to back you. And then also one day we'll have a King's army to back us. So we're going to have, for the first time in more than 70 years, in 70 years, we're going to go back and have a kingly power. Let's see how we go with the kingly power, okay? So that's what's going on. And the most important person in all of this is Queen Elizabeth, that we want Queen Elizabeth in her Jubilee year. We want Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth to know that we finally understand why we need her to be there, why she's there, and the power that she gives us, and the sacrifices that she's made all these years so that we can retain this power. And now that she's coming near to her end, they're saying, oh, the people don't want to use this power and it's irrelevant now. So we must not allow this to happen. We must get back and take back our power, okay? So that's it. Kate Floss signing out from the Ministry of Select Committee. What, smile for the camera? Hang on.